me la calle. Very nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll be back.
That's not like the photo. What are you
Yo.
Time putting this show together, but we really are quite thrilled with the outcome. I think it looks amazing. Thank you. It is my greatest pleasure today to introduce and welcome our guest of honor, which is Gordon Froud. Gordon is an artist, educator, curator, and gallerist. He's the head of visual arts at the Department of Visual Arts at UJ. He's been active in the South African art world for over 40 years. And we're deeply honored that you join us today to officially open this exhibition. I just want to say a bit more about Gordon. He's participated in hundreds of exhibitions, both locally and internationally. He's shown work in Washington, Boone, The Hague, Paris, and beyond. He's curated major exhibitions that have traveled across South Africa and abroad. In 2018, he did a major solo show with Standard Bank called Sacred Geometry, and that went on tour to many museums and galleries across the country. Gordon embodies what it means to live a life fully committed to art, in making, in teaching, and in sharing. And Gordon, on behalf of Artily Gallery, thank you for being here today. Your presence and your words honor us, and you represent the spirit of generosity, creativity, and integrity that we really value. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Gordon Froud.
Good afternoon, everybody. Such a great pleasure to be here again. Whenever I come back to Artily, it's a bit like coming home to family. Karen was one of our students many years ago and then came back and did her postgrad. And then embarked on this incredible adventure. And well done. I can see it growing from strength to strength every time. It's an incredible thing that you're doing for the artists and for the art world in Johannesburg particularly. And I like the fact that you're carving an international niche for yourself and for your artists as well. That's very, very important for artists trying to get out there in the real world. Welcome everybody. I'm glad you're able to join us. I'm glad you managed to make it through the parking downstairs. That's always the biggest challenge, you know. But when one comes to view art, at least there's some reward at the end of the process. An exhibition of this nature is quite interesting because it's in fact an assumed title or a borrowed title or a leftover title of another show that didn't quite happen. But it is such an intriguing thing, this notion of what salt is, because it is in fact the thing that holds us together as human beings, and to a large extent the whole earth, the planets, the seas, for example. None of that would actually exist if it wasn't for salt. Salt also has a history of being utilized as money. All of you at the end of the month rush off to get your salary. Your salary actually comes from the payment that was made to Roman soldiers, where they were paid in salt. And therefore, if you were a very good soldier, you were said to be worth your salt. Okay, so a little bit of a history lesson there as well. Of course, the layers of our earth, as seismic shifts have changed and mountains have risen up and seas have sunken down and things have happened, is made up of sedimentary layers. And those sedimentary layers often have minerals in that become salts of some sort. Corin didn't know this when she invited me to open this, that I'm in fact a saltaholic. And of the many holics that I am, I'm also a saltaholic. And one of my sideline passions is in fact in collecting salt. And the value of it was actually brought home to me when I was in Belgium. I was at the market one morning, and my partner Diane was off looking at other things, and I went to a salt tasting table, and I tasted some, so I bought some. And she came back and said, "What is this?" I said, "Well, I've just spent 150 Rand on salt." And she said, "Are you bloody mad?" "What for?" I said, "Just hold on, give me your hand." And I took one of these little Falstaff crystals, which is pyramid shaped, by the way, and put it in her hand and said, "Taste that." She stepped back, she said, "Problem solved. I fully understand." I brought a whole, a section of my collection of salts here for people to have a look at. And a little bit later afterwards, I'm quite happy to share some of my salts with you, but only a tweezerful at a time. Treat it like cocaine, only a little bit, you know. Yeah. What I'm also fascinated by the notion of salt is that the fact that it has these layers, and in those layers it picks up other minerals. So some of the salts there are black, blue, purple, pink, yellow, green, depending on what kind of mineral deposits they have on them. And because of that, they are used in healing. Within the healing space, within African spirituality, for example, salt is used as a cleansing medium. Salts also form crystals. Those of us who still used to do science experiments at school, they'd give you a piece of string and you hang it in a salt container, and next thing 2 days later you had a crystal that had grown. And to me as a youngster, that was always magic. You know, the fact that we can take water and something else and it becomes a new thing, a crystal. Of course, salt is used in preservatives. I mean, where would we be without salt and biltong, for example? You know, sauerkraut is made only, primarily with salt. There's no vinegar in it. The fermentation process happens. I just finished a bottle of sauerkraut that's been in my cupboard since the lockdown, and it was still very good to eat because salt is the preservative of that stuff. And of course our pickling as well. Coming back to the exhibition, just like salt is made up of these fragments that make up crystals and minerals for us, art is made up of fragments as well. And very much more so within the context of the show, where there's very little straight realism that is making a picture. The works here tend towards a kind of abstraction of a sort. Even Bambo's works on the wall there, the patterns become an abstract shape. They become a fragment. They become a little part of the bigger whole. Salt is made up of grains of salt as well. In the same way, when you go up to a painting or any of the other works on the show, the sculptural things, they are made up of grains and of layers, in the same kind of way that salt operates out there in the real world as well. One of the things that ties this exhibition together is a sense of patternness. Even within Andrew Nchabele's works, which are on the surface playful children, but when you look at the way that he's applied the paint and what have you, there's pattern. There's a working up of the surface in small fragments to make up a reality. Even the text of the newspapers that are in the background are in fact fragments of that. The other thing that links this exhibition together, of course, is the preponderance of colour, from Tony Ann Balladin's to Talia's works over there, to the great Robert Slingsby, to Bambo, to everybody else who's on the show. Even the beaded work at the back is reliant on the colour and those little grains of beads that evoke an image. What's particularly exciting for me in a show like this is the fact that we have legends like Robert Slingsby. We studied him when I was a student at school. Sorry to give your age away, Robert. But he's a legend of the past and the present. But also on the walls, we've got the legends of the future. People who are already carving names for themselves, Bambo, Asanda, so many other people who are carving their names into becoming legends of the future. So I'd like to say congratulations, and like the many flavors of salt we have here, we have many flavors of art on the wall. Engage with it as you would with salt. Take a little bit of a taste on your tongue. Please don't lick the paintings. And engage with it. Engage with your eyes in such a way that you make this part of your repertoire, that you build your palette for what is out there. Congratulations. Like the many layers of salt in the sea and on our earth, that is what art is for us. The salt of flavor, the salt of taste. Thank you very much. You're welcome to come and have a look at the salts that I brought along with me. Please don't assault them. And if anybody would like to taste this quite remarkable smoked Falstaff, please come along and I shall give you a little taste. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gordon. Just before we start having too much to drink and some of that lovely cheese, just 2 announcements. Next week, Saturday, there will be an event here at the gallery from 10 to 11 with Africa Collect. Africa Collect have made a fabulous way for people to collect art. So the event is about how you start a collection, collecting art, how you go about it, how you make it affordable. So you will see little QR codes around the gallery. So basically with Africa Collect, you can buy a piece and pay it off over a year. But it's a really great initiative to make art collectible. We also have an event on Thursday night at the gallery, which is Creatives in Prayer. So if anybody would like to join us for that event, you'd be very welcome. And that's it. Have a party, enjoy, have some salt. Thank you.
course.
Because I can hear the voice, the cadence. How to hear
You got it right. You're right. Wow.
asking him, how like he said, please join me in the cadence. Want to hear the voice? Do you know behind the
We're
song?
supposed to have music everywhere because people, when I'm singing, join in.
Yeah.
All of me. Just adjust on up. All of me. Why not take all of me?
I think I can do that one.
Okay, come on. Can we
So, go ahead. Cho.
Can you see I'm not good without you? Take my lips, I want to lose them. Take my arms, I never use them. Except for driving. Your goodbye has left me without you. How can I get on the without you? You took the part that once was my heart. So why not take hold of me?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Why not take hold of me? Can't you see I'm not good without you? Take my lips, I want to lose them. Take my arms, I'll never use them. Your goodbye has left me without that cry. How can I get on here without you? You took the part that was my heart. So why not take hold of me? Why not take hold of me? Why not take hold of you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Beautiful. Madagascar. Madagascar.
Why can't you sing each other? This I want to. Next time I come with my guitar or jazz guitar in 10 years.
Maybe drums.
Please, give us some more with the gentleman.
Another second. Another second.
What's my voice like in that second? Wow.
Show. No way.